My drop top in the street. 7 o'clock. I'm with a real feeling. Ain't that's waiting for me. I put love anticipating. Oh no, don't keep me waiting. Oh look, I was just singing the song. Don't mind me singing the song. Hey y'all, what's going on this good Monday? Welcome back to Missy Mondays, where we discuss some of everything. I'm still doing my Housewives series. Um, we are currently on episode 15 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and this season it should be ending soon. Then we got like 2 more episodes, and then we'll get into the the reunion. Um, I'm gonna probably bring some people on um when the reunion comes on, so we can talk about it. Like just not me by myself. I'm probably gonna have like a guest that comes in on the live and talk, about the reunion. Because I know a lot of people be, want to talk about the things or whatever, but they may miss the live or they may miss it in real time. But I'm a, reach out to some people, or if you want to come in and discuss anything, like if you want to just get on here and talk about Housewives with me, feel free. And when the reunion comes, I'll bring you on and we can talk about it. You know. So this is Mr. Mondays, where we talk about everything pop culture, reality TV, entertainment. But like I said, right now I'm still doing my Housewives series um, with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But we're on episode 15, and like I said, the season should be ending. I think in like 2 more episodes, because they didn't say the season finale was next week. So I think we're gonna have 2 more episodes before the season ends, and then we'll get into this reunion. At this point, let's just get to this reunion, because I don't see nothing else playing out this season between Shamia and Portia, because they had this little one off at the dinner last week, and then it's like they not gonna interact no more, because anytime Shamia ain't gonna, I mean Portia is not gonna want to discuss anything else with Shamia at this point. So it's not gonna get, like, it's not gonna go anywhere with them. We're not gonna get anything else between the Shamia and Portia until we get to the reunion. So, but anyway, how y'all feeling on this good Monday? I know we got some rain and everything else, but hopefully everybody is doing good. Um, if you are here, let me know that you are here. Don't just sit in the background. Say hello. I know y'all mamas taught y'all that when you come to somebody, when you come to a place, you supposed to say hello. Amen. Amen. Y'all know that's courteous. Y'all supposed to say hello when y'all come. When y'all come, like a lot of y'all be watching from the background. Y'all don't be saying nothing. Yes, I'm gonna call y'all out. Y'all watching from the background. Y'all don't say nothing. Y'all could at least say hello. Do I don't care if you do a hey emoji like this. Raise your hand. I don't care if you leave a dot dot dot. Just something. Y'all be weird for that. Y'all be watching for us all day long and don't say nothing. Like, who does that? Weird energy. But anyway, what's going on in in the news today? I really had stopped really talking about news while I do Housewives, because it kind of get, you know mixed in with the two. But I know they had that Nolan Wells. They did have his funeral today, and I've been seeing a lot of mixed comments about that. I'm not gonna dive deep into that. I just know that um, they had his funeral today, and I just seen something about Tyler Perry and Al Sharpton are are like offering like $50,000 to anybody that can give like more information on like the case or whatever of what's going on. And they say that the mama is what they feel like that the family. I've heard allegedly that the family has kind of been paid off. Um, and if that's so, then that's really unfortunate because a lot of people was like reacting to the mother's um how she was at the funeral and was saying that her body language was like not like they were saying her tears were fake and she was not really, you know, it was not really genuine. I guess you could say, but like who are us to say when we just looking at something from, through an app or through a phone, especially if we're not there in person. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Um and This, like I said, I really ain't had much to say about that um situation, but it's really unfortunate. Um, it's really unfortunate. Um, another thing I want to talk about real quick before I got into Housewives. Um, the season finale of Bad Boys, the art was last night, and Jada, not sis, not sis, Jada. Um, Dang, who got the chains? I forgot that quick. Jada, Banger, and Shotty got the chains. So she only gave out 3 chains last night. I feel like all those chains was well deserved. Based off like I think she was just going off of like who brought the most energy to the house, not basically like who was doing the most fighting and all that. But Lennon and Pootie, y'all did all that throughout this whole season, and y'all didn't get no chain. I mean, they probably might get a chain at the reunion, but it's like they hold on. They look at these. They did so much to get to these chains, and it's like y'all still didn't get one. Like I don't know, but Link's his chain was very much well deserved because like if everybody in the house, like he the one that had the most energy. He the one that like brought the most vibes to the house. Like, and it's more than just about like the fighting and all, and then starting the beats and stuff. Like, he had the most energy throughout the whole time. And honestly, Lynch was able to, even though he, even though he had his crew that he rocked with, I feel like he really was able to get along with everybody in the house or whatever. So I like Lynch. Um, and it, his first chain was very much deserved. Even though Jada kind of had something to say as far as being a hater, talking about we giving the chain to crackheads now. I was like, oh, not Jada being a hater. Jada, and then you got yours next, Jada. So why you had to throw that in me? But I honestly feel like even though people may disagree with that, but I honestly feel like Seth should have got a chain because like he was in all the drama, he was in all the stories, all everybody's stories. Like Seth could have been next for a chain. He'll probably get one in the reunion. Who knows? But anyway, that's enough of that. Um, so Housewives of Atlanta, we on episode 15. Like I said, we are about to wrap this season up. And how y'all feel about this season ending? Like, I feel like with the last episode, with it being so much drama that dropped on the last episode, I feel like this season didn't. I mean, this episode that aired this week, I feel like it wasn't a lot of drama because I guess because last episode was such a dramified episode. So usually when they have like a episode that has so much drama, the next episode behind it, it ain't gonna be that much drama. it ain't gonna be that much drama. It'll be like an aftermath, or it'll be like a little, you know, a little, a little bit, but not too much, because they're trying to take it away and then give us the episode to like debrief everything that happened on the last episode. But of course, on this episode, starting off, it was the aftermath of Portia and Shamil. Um, Kelly states that after they left that dinner, it was best to separate them two, and then they went back to wherever they was, and then they changed and got Glenn up again to go out to the club that night. So Kelly and Shamia, they're all talking to the side in like a little separate room. Shamia gets emotional again. If I had $1 every time Shamia has cried this season, I would be rich, because it's like Shamia, all you Shamia, all you have been doing is crying the whole season. And I just like, you got, I ain't never seen nobody crying more than Shamia. Shamia, Kate is a Pisces, so Kate can get emotional as well. She cried in this episode too, but Shamia will cry every episode. And Shamia is a Taurus, and I don't even know Tauruses to like be that emotional. But Shamia cries every chance she gets, like, and I just do not understand. Like every time you start talking, you start crying. Like it's just like your life is not like this stuff you're going through. It's not that sad. Like it's not. I don't understand it. I really don't. But Shamil gets emotional, talking to Kelly about her and Portia, and how they got to this point, and she basically saying that she's cool on Portia. But what I don't like is that Shamil, you started that whole mess at the dinner, and then you crying to Kelly. I don't like when people start stuff and they play victim. Because like, and I know people gonna probably disagree with this sometimes, because they're gonna say that I be taking that for Portia a lot, but Portia didn't start at the dinner. Shamil, you brought up that conversation, like you started with the kid, you started with the kid, you started with this, you started with that, and then it just went into the whole mother, uh, you know, of it all. Because, like I say, the mother situation didn't have nothing to do with the other two topics that you was talking about. Because you was like, well, you posted last year about my mama doing something scandalous to your mom, but do you know? But do they know that your mama did this to my mama? And I'm like, wait a minute, that they had nothing to see. Like Fair just said, the group didn't have to know that. They have to know that information, and you never brought it up, because that didn't compare to the two. So it's like you brought that up, and then Portia responded with her response, and it's like, okay, well, now I'm the victim. So I just don't like people that like kind of start stuff and then go back and play victim, and that's kind of what Shamia has been doing. And I can understand some of the stuff that Shamia has been saying, because it's being made to look like she's on a island by herself. It's kind of looking like everybody is against her, but it ain't just a reason why everybody is. And it ain't a reason why everybody is against you, and everybody is not really against you. That's just something that you're feeling, and something that you have said, and something that you are running with. Because really, everybody's not really against you. You're just feeling like that because of the stuff that you have said and done throughout the season. Because really, and it's just how stuff when you say stuff and when stuff come out, that just make people just back away from you, or that kind of just make people just distance themselves away from you. That's it. That's it. That's really all it is. Because if I observe somebody in a friend group and they moving like if I see them moving a certain way that I don't like, and then if I see them like bringing up stuff that that is that shows their character to be like kind of messy, sneaky, and conniving, I'm gonna be like, now wait a minute now. Everybody ain't lying on you. Everybody ain't lying on you. Cause somebody got it's some truth in there somewhere. It is sometimes people like that, they have to make themselves believe what it is that they are putting out there. And I think that is what Shamil is trying to do. Or she's trying to make the audience believe one thing when we see another. So I think that's what it is. Yeah. But Shamil basically said that she's cool on Portia. And I feel like that Portia is the same way. I think it's gonna be mutual. She said she cool on Portia, and Portia, I mean, she basically is saying the same thing. So, do I think they can come back from this friendship? Or do I think that it's ever a world where they can be friends again? No. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Because once you like bring up some family dirt like that, and especially on a public platform, ain't no coming back from that. Ain't no coming back from that. Ain't no coming back from that. I don't care how long we been friends. Ain't no coming back from that. Mm-mm. But the lady started to get glammed up to go out to the club. The ladies get there and they start having fun. At first, I noticed that Kelly and Shamia is not there. Um, but at first they're not there. Um, K Michelle gets on the mic and she starts singing her song VSOP to Phaedra. I thought that was really nice. I love that song by K Michelle. Like that was one of her. I think that was her like her first hit, her first main hit. I always love that song. And Phaedra said that was really sweet. She never thought in a million years that she called K Michelle this little pumpkin that would be serenading her for her birthday. That was a really sweet moment. And then surprisingly, Kay brings Drew up and lets her sing her song Delusional. That's how I know that Kay, you really ain't had no beef with Drew the whole time. Because now you're able to, acknowledge her and acknowledge her music and all the things. Like you ain't never had no real beef with with Drew. I feel like you just came in and you just wanted to grab something and have with Drew because you knew that she was an easy go to. You knew she was an easy target, and that's what it was. And you just used the black of it all because now we need to talk about black no more. I ain't even talk about that man no more because it it was nothing to be concerned about. So then Shamia and Kelly arrive at the club, and then it's just like her music changed. It's like a monster had done walked in. K Michelle brings Shamia up so Shamia can sing her song Never Had. Um, Never Had that song by Shamia. It's really not that bad. It's not bad. It's a good little song. Um, I just think that Shamia, Shamia may not be profitable in music like she thinks she will be, unless because because the song itself, it sounds good because you can, excuse me, you can produce an auto tune and all the things and all that. So that's what makes the song sound okay. But Shamia performing live is a fool. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She performed last year. She had like a little showcase last year. On last season, and it was a fool. It was a fool. So I just, mm-mm. I just don't see a market where Shamia can be profitable in music. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't see it for her in music. But she's in song. But when Shamia gets there, Portia decides to leave. And the way this episode is edited, they make it seem like Drew, Angela, well, they also make it seem like that Drew and Angela also leave. But and then Shamia says that Cynthia and Portia also left when she started singing. But I wrote down that I don't believe that because Angela posted a video showing that she was still there when Shamia was still performing. Another lie. And then Cynthia also said on her podcast that she was still there when Shamir was was performing. So it's like, here we go again, Shamir. You gotta play the victim and make it seem like that these girls intentionally walked out while you performed when that was not the case. Of course, that's how it look on the edit, but it don't. But in the real life situation, that was not the case because they didn't leave out when you performed. I think they may have left after you performed, but while you was performing, they were still there. I think what happened was when Shamir walked in, Portia she exited stage left, and then I can't remember it was Drew. I think Drew went and checked on her, but I don't. But I think they all stayed. I think like Angela, Cynthia, and Phaedra stayed while Shamir performed, and then they left after. So Shamir gonna make it seem like they left after she performed, but I mean during her performance, but clearly I don't think they left during her performance. I don't think they left, and clearly Angela posted a video showing that she was still there while Shamir was performing. Um, yeah. Now, Shamir, why you gotta lie? Why do you have to lie? Why you gotta lie, Craig? Why you gotta lie? I think, and I know it seems like I'm going hard on Shamia, but it just seems like that she says things because she wants the audience to believe one thing when it's gonna come out not in her favor, or it's not gonna come out, to be another thing. You know, I don't know. But the next morning, um, they just Phaedra and Portia decides to take the ladies to two different type of excursions, events, whatever you want to call them. Phaedra's taking Shamia, Kelly, and um, Cynthia to the cemetery. Cemetery, I don't know why, but y'all know how Phaedra is. Phaedra is a mortician and a funeral director, and she is obsessed with the dead. So she wanted to take them to a cemetery. And you know what? Honestly, it is after watching it, I was kind of intrigued um to kind of like visit different cemeteries in different countries and different cities and see like no, just find out about history and stuff. I was intrigued the way the tour guide was talking to them about the history and all that. I was intrigued. I guess because when I was in college, I took well, I want to say yeah, history was one of my better subjects. So I did well in history. So I was intrigued. I always been intrigued with history. So I probably would have enjoyed that. So it was kind of interesting. So I would say like I would have enjoyed that. I would have liked to have experienced that, especially the way the guy was talking about the different people that have been buried there, and he talking about Esther and stuff like that. Now I'm not the person that gets into all that stuff, but it's just good to to learn stuff. We can all learn some stuff. So I don't I don't be freaked out about learning stuff. So I was like, I wouldn't mind going to a cemetery in a different country just to and have a tour guide take you through it and teach you about some facts and stuff. Like we all could learn some stuff. Trust me. Then Portia take the other ladies to a spot in the on the property in the back, but it turns out that the spot is not spying. Like the spot is not spying. Like it's like a small little trailer type of thing, and a hot tub. It's just not for these ladies. And Angela is like, these are not the accommodations that I'm used to. And I'm like, well, of course you could try. But no, these ladies is not finna do no spa type of thing. So they just went back inside to eat, and that was that. So when they got back in there, when they got back in the house, Portia calls her sister Lauren. And um this conversation was kind of interesting that she had with Lauren. Cause she was just basically just like running down like, you know, what has transpired on the trip. Like Portia basically said that like she has had a good time on the trip so far. It has been a good trip so far for her, but she said that of course she had to tell Lauren about what happened between her and Shamia the night before. And she basically was telling her about, her breaking up the whole rumors about her mama and everything and everything. And this made me laugh. Portia was like, your dad ain't never had no teeth. I was like, she said Shamia's dad ain't never had no teeth, my lord. My God, today they made me laugh. Cause out of all things, Portia, you said that man ain't never had no teeth. It was just like a quick little, a quick little jab, just insert in there. Like, why would Miss Diane want that man? He ain't never had no teeth. That was so funny to me. I'm sorry. That was so funny to me. That was so funny to me. Cause like, it just those little running little things. Like, you can't hate Portia, cause it's like she, like, you can't take Portia serious. Like, Portia is a vet in the reality game at this point. She been on this show since season 5. So it's like she just knows when to she just knows when to do it. She knows what to say when to say it and knows, you know what I'm saying? It just works. It just works. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. But Lauren was basically, well, of course, Lauren is her sister, so she gonna basically agree with her for the most part. But she was just basically saying that, why would she bring that up at the table in front of the group for them to be prior to that information when, that wasn't nothing that was needed to be brought up. Um but yeah, she was just going down, 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 you know. And Portia said something on that phone call with Lauren. She was just like basically like, damn, what did she say? I should have wrote it down. But she used the word that made me think of like that. But Portia is very funny with her words. So she'll say something, and I'd be like, Portia, do you really know what that means? Portia, do you know what that means, or do you not know what that means? Because you be saying Portia now, you be saying stuff sometimes, and I'd be like, Portia, do you know what that means? Because I ain't never heard you say nothing like that before. I love you, but it's just some stuff you be saying. I'd be like, Portia, do you even know what that means? So we we goes back to the car with with the group, Shamia, Phaedra, Kelly, and Cynthia. Shamia tries to explain herself to Phaedra, and I'm like, we gonna get there, but Shamia been she be apologizing a lot. I'd be like, girl, you don't apologize so much. You should be tired of apologizing. But she tries to explain herself to Phaedra, basically. But I said that it really didn't land. When she was the one that brought up the whole the she was the one that brought up this situation with her. And she says that it went to hell after Portia brought up the daycare situation last year. And Cynthia was like, well, we thought we had to move on from that, but obviously, Shamia still be holding on to some stuff from long from last year. And that's another thing with Shamia. She have to learn how to communicate her feelings better. Because I feel like that you let stuff build up and then you just let it air out all at one time, or you say it to other people, but or you misdirect it to somebody else that it don't supposed to be directed to. That's that's not emotionally mature of you to do, because you well, I don't know how really old Shamir is, but she at least in her 40s. You're a 40 something year old woman. You should be able to know how to correlate your feelings without holding stuff you know, in real time. I just never got that. I just never understood it, because she was just like that. Portia bringing up the whole daycare situation, it just started it, but they had kind of moved on from that, and it just didn't, it never crossed paths. But Portia was willing to move on from that, because Portia was basically like that she could have moved on from that while they was on the trip, but apparently Shamir chose otherwise. So, um, Fraser also stated in her confession that she feels like that Shamir continues to stir up mess in the group by going back and repeating things or saying things that cause the trouble. And they flash back to all the time that Shamir had went back and said things or repeated things that has caused trouble in the group. Shamir, these editors are not on your side, because every time Phaedra said something, they brought up they flashbacks every time you have said something that has caused some mess in a group. Like, dang, Shamil, these editors are not on your side at all, because they call it out every time. So I already know this reunion is not gonna go good for Shamil, because it's like, girl, these people are on your neck. Everybody have their day. Everybody had their day on these shows, and I feel like Shamil just having her day. Everybody have had their day. Um, what I said. Oh yeah, I said that Shamil takes up her cruise to the spa, but it wasn't the best accommodation, so they just went inside and ate, and she showed the girls where they was gonna be eating there for dinner, and Fraser takes her crew to the cemetery, and a lot of people, no, not a lot of people, but Shamia wasn't really feeling the cemetery. Curly wasn't feeling it either. But Cynthia kind of played along because Cynthia OG, so she gonna play along. She going to play along to get along. But the other two they were not feeling it. So when they were sitting down when Portia's crew was at the house eating, um Drew showed love to Kay, and she thanked her for showing love to her the previous night by bringing her up, sang her song. Drew thanks, like I said, she thanked Kay for showing her love and everything. Kay basically said that she had her issues with Drew, but she knew that it wasn't never that serious. Yeah, yeah, Kay, it was yeah, Kay, it yes, it Kay, it was never that serious because there was never no issue. You want a issue with Drew so bad, but it was never an issue. Y'all never had no reason to beef. Y'all never had no issues. Y'all actually got a little, well, I wouldn't say a lot in common, but y'all got things in common like music. That's one thing y'all got in common. And y'all can say what y'all want about Drew, but Drew can sing. She might not be a K Michelle level, but she can sing. Can we give her that? We can give her that. Drew can sing now. And Pinky asked Portia why she left the club. And Portia just basically said that with everything that had happened the night before, she just haven't had time to process everything, and she just didn't want to, be in her face or nothing like that, and I guess be fake or whatever, or not really be fake, or she just said want she didn't want to be like around her at that moment because like Shamil was coming to her like they had just happened, like they had left that dinner and went in chain and went in like got reglammed up and everything, and they went out to the club on that same night. So Shamil came back and Shamil come in the club like ain't nothing just happened, like you ain't just dropped bombs on top of bombs. But Portia was like she wasn't feeling it in the moment. So mm, then Drew, this is Drew being a good housewife. Drew asked Pinky where they was like, well, how have y'all been feeling about Shamia and everything that's been going on? Drew, messy, but good housewife work. That's how you get the people to respond to what's been going on in the back end. You know. So Pinky says that Shamia was on defense mode before before they even came on the trip. Because Pinky was like she was asking Shamia how she felt about going on a trip and was she ready for the trip. And Shamia was basically like, well, Shamia was like she ready for whatever. She was like she ready for whatever comes her way. Shamia was ready to fight. Like Shamia was ready to throw some bows. Like she was ready to do some damage. Like she came in on defense mode. So you didn't come on a trip ready to kumbaya. You came there ready to throw some bows. Yeah. Also, I wrote down that Shamia thinks everything is done against her because of Portia. Because she said something at the cemetery about I forgot a man said something about the queen. No, he said something about the people that was buried in the cemetery. They was against the king or queen or something. Then they was buried. They was basically buried in that cemetery. And Shamir was like, "Well, now I see why they brought me here because if I don't bow down to 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 their queen, and I'm gonna be buried." And I'm like, "Girl." I'm like, girl, you think everything that these girls do and everything is done because of what Portia does. Like, you think everything is against you because of Portia. But okay. Um, Shamia throws some shade at Phaedra by saying there's something about she had because they was Phaedra and Cynthia went into the little thing to where they do the exorcisms at or something like that, and it was like she was saying something about the people that go in there had some hidden demons or something like that, and then Shamia said, "Phaedra, you got some hidden demons too. Do you want more?" And I was like, "Shamia, Phaedra's gonna get you about that comment. You know that, right?" Okay, just be ready. And Kelly thinks that everyone is taking on Portia's. I can see it may look like that on one side. It may look like that on one side. That everyone is just taking on where Portia's beef, but I really don't. I really don't see everyone taking on Portia's beef. I just feel like that they are just responding to what she is giving them in the moment. You know, that's different because if everybody was really taking Portia's side, then it would have been the same way. It wouldn't have been the same way like it was last year. Everybody wasn't everybody wasn't getting along with Portia last year. So and then Shamia still had conflict with other people other than Portia. So it's the same thing, you know. Um, they get back in the car. Shamia asked Phaedra, how does she feel about you know her new chapter or whatever, and how's her dating life being post divorce. Now Miss Fairface said that she hasn't really dated a lot post divorce. That her and Apollo have been divorced 7 years, and she's only had two boyfriends. Cynthia said, "Oh no, ma'am." Cynthia said, "Oh no, ma'am." She said, somebody is between them legs with them sexy wigs and them sexy tight clothes you be having on." So Cynthia ain't believing that. Cynthia said somebody is between them thighs, Miss Fay Fay. And honestly, I don't know. I feel like a part of me do still feel like Phaedra, um, is the is that Southern Belle, you know, thing role that she plays, but I just feel like that the her how we see her now with the long hair and the clothes that she wears and things like that. I just think that just who she is kind of transformed to over time. But first with that blonde wig, it just washes her out kind of. I think because of her skin tone. I don't know, but Fraser, you stick to the dark hair because that dark hair looks so good on you. And who am I to tell like it's what to wear on the head? But I just love that dark hair on Phaedra because that blonde, it be making her look. I don't know. It just kind of wash her out or something like that. But them dark like she had on like a burgundy wig when she was doing press. I think in New York last week, and she looked so good with that blue dress. She looked so good. She looked so good. Like just stick to the dark hair. But we know she won't. But we're gonna see. So the ladies get ready for Phaedra's birthday dinner. Now I'll come down one by one. Everybody looked good. I loved it, the things that they had on the things that they got made at the shop the the first day. They looked really good. Everybody looked really good and was dressed for the occasion. only one I was really scared of was Kelly, but I can't remember what she had on because Kelly her her looks can be a hit or a miss. Sometimes, but everybody understood the assignment. Everybody looked good. Um, Cynthia tells the ladies that Shamia says that she doesn't feel supported in a group, and Cynthia says that she reminded her that that's not the case. Kay said that she never wants anyone to be on the island by themselves. Ooh, excuse me. And and she feels as though that is what Shamia is currently experiencing. That she's on the island by herself. So they all walk in, and then Portia walks in with this little, with this, this bodycon white dress, looking all type of fine, and you can tell that Shamia, ooh, baby, that face turned up soon as Portia walked in. Like, Angela, even Angela was like, the tension is so thick in the room, like you can cut a knife with it. But it was like, was it more so on Portia's side, or was it more so on Shamia's side? Cause like Portia walked in like, giving the main girl energy like she always do, and Shamia was sitting over there with her nose tooted up, like giving like, I wouldn't say hater, but she was just giving like the stank face, like, okay, what we doing? Okay, and like what we doing? Like, and um so they all leave and they go sit down to dinner, and then Cynthia, I mean not Cynthia. Oh, my mind is twisting. When they sit down for dinner, Phaedra just thanks everybody for coming together, and she said that she feels so good to be there, be in Scotland with them, and she said that she just thanked all of them for coming together, to honor her for her birthday. Um, Phaedra and Cynthia, it was a good little moment that they reflected on how they started, in the group together, when they first came on the show together. And they reflecting on their friendship and the past. Cynthia says that she feels like her and Phaedra were a slow burn. They definitely were, because if you remember that season 7 read battle that they had, winner case. If you remember that season 7, if you remember that season 7 read off between Cynthia and Phaedra, you know they ain't always seen eye to eye. Winner case. Hey, that read down between Cynthia and Phaedra, that was a good one. That one was a lot of people underestimate that read off, but that was a good one. And I can say y'all give Faye a lot, but Cynthia won a case. Cynthia, Cynthia did what needed to be done in that read off with Phaedra. She definitely she definitely had her own. Now y'all gonna a lot of people will probably say that Phaedra ate her up. I ain't gonna say that, but Cynthia definitely had her own. That when a case definitely ate her up because Phaedra is a they they used to call Phaedra a shade tree attorney. So if you do with that what you will. Oh, but and then Portia goes in and gives a speech to Phaedra. Now I'm gonna say this about this speech, Portia. Portia, you knew what you were doing when you gave this speech. You gave this speech to get under Shamia's skin, and it worked. Mm-hmm. You gave that speech to get under Shamia's skin because you go talking about that. Lord, is that right? Sound like it. You go talking about how you calling people in the middle of the night, being there for people. You ain't never thought that you ain't never. I was like, now, Portia. I'm gonna have to call you out right now, girl, cause, cause you and Phaedra, y'all are cool, but y'all ain't been the best of friends. I feel like y'all friends, but y'all ain't been friends. Y'all ain't never been friends like you and Shamir was friends. Y'all ain't been friends since like high school. Like you met Phaedra on the show, then y'all became friends over time. Um, but one thing I want to say is that, well, of course, Shamir said in her confessions, like y'all best friends now. Like, of course, Shamir was gonna say that. Shamir was bothered about that, and Angela said in her confession that that Portia was putting juice on that speech a little bit. I feel like she was, yeah, she was definitely putting the juice on it. But I feel like Portia was coming from a genuine place as far as when she was talking to Phaedra, because I feel like that they do have a friendship. I don't feel like they're a closer friend, but they do have a friendship. Now, Kelly, you talk about that. Kelly, you talk about that we never see them post on Instagram. We never see them hanging out on Instagram, all this and that. That lets me know that how you operate in your friendships, Kelly. Because just because you don't see friends posting each other on social media all the time, that does not mean that they are not hanging around. I know a lot of times when I'm hanging around my friends, like we don't post each other all the time when we're hanging out. Especially like if it's like just on some chill stuff, like you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't gonna be that every time. You know what I'm saying? Like you will see us together, like hanging out when we hang out sometimes, but like you probably not gonna see us on social media hanging out all the time, like every time we hanging out together. Cause we more than just it's more than just social media for us. So Killer, that just lets me know how you operate on in your friend groups, and you validate your friend groups through social media. So I was like, Kelly, you weird for that. Because like I say, just because you don't see friends on social media, like that don't mean that they're not friends in real life. Because social media don't define friendships in real life anyway. Kelly, like I feel like Kelly's just gonna say anything to like try to make sense, but it don't be making sense at all. So yeah, I'm like, ain't no way social media should define a friendship between you and your friend. And if it do, then that's not like a real friendship. Like, okay, you don't post me, you're not my friend. Goodbye, Kelly. Goodbye. And that's all I say. I say like Kelly, just because you don't post your everything on social media with your friend, that doesn't mean that they don't hang out. And also, you don't have to hang. You don't have to have everything plastered on on social media with your real friend. Kelly, you're weird. Um. So then Phaedra talks about why she wanted to take her her group of girls to the cemetery, and how she always likes to visit um you know the cemeteries, like anytime she goes out of the country or the city. And Kay Kay gets emotional talking about almost having a near death experience when she was having her surgery. Um, she gets really emotional. Says that when she had you know those surgeries, um, to undo what she had did. Um, it was at one point in one of the surgeries where they had told her mom if they didn't know if like she was gonna make it. I was like, dang, it was that bad. But she was just like, could you just imagine if like hearing a doctor tell your mother like if you don't know if that they don't know if you're gonna make it, like that has to be the hardest thing that you have to hear. And I was like, oh my god, no, for real, because that's wild. That's wild. And like she was asking the girls like, have they ever had a near experience? And some of them was like, yeah. I think Shamil said like, I was giving birth and things like that. Um, but that one kind of really just stuck with me because I was like, I just couldn't imagine like hearing the doctor tell my mother that you know that they don't know if I'm gonna make it or not. Like I just couldn't imagine. So I felt for Kay in that moment, and Angela got emotional. Of course, her mama passed last year. Drew got emotional as well because she was saying that she kind of felt guilty because she hasn't her her she haven't visited her dad's grave in like 2 years, and honestly that's coming for a lot of people. A lot of people don't visit their loved ones grave site when they pass on because it just may be too hard for them to do, or it just may be too hard for them to accept or just go out there and do, especially if it's like a parent or a child. Like we just could never like know what that feels like until we get into those until we get in those spaces of like losing a loved one that close. But that was very deep moment, and I was like, oh, let me get away from this. Mm-mm. I felt for them in that. I felt for them in that moment because grief is always an ongoing thing, and it never stops. It never ends. So everybody deals with it differently. You can't tell one person or another person has to deal with it. So I think when it comes to grief, you just have to let you just have to let people deal with it how they want to deal with it, and just move on. Because without how I deal with something when it comes to something like that may not be how the next person deal with something. So it may be completely different. So we have to be cautious of how we speak on people when they are in a moment of grief, because it always can be a touchy subject when it comes to that in particular. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. But that was a good moment. That was a very good moment. I like I like I like when the ladies have real conversations like that because it just makes it more relatable. Because sometimes people just see these ladies as like all glammed up and all not perfect, but they see them all glammed up and they see them living these lives. But when they have real conversations like that, then that lets the viewers know that that they have empathy and they have emotions and they go through things that same problems that everybody else goes through. Simple, yeah. And I wrote down that Shamia is so woe is me. I don't remember why I wrote that down, but it is very much true. Like like I said, I don't remember why I wrote that down, but it's very much true. Like anytime like Shamia has a sad story about anything, and I don't even think that Shamia had a sad story about this in particular. Like when it came to the whole death conversation of it all, I just think that it was just her whole energy. The whole dinner was just like down. I would say besides at the end, she did kind of have a little joy at the end. But I think when it came to like her apologizing again at the dinner, she said that she felt that she needs to apologize because she didn't want the dinner from the previous night to go the way it did. And even Pinky and Kelly said that Pinky said that Pinky said that Shamir should be the queen of apologizing at this point. She should be, yeah, because she had to go on a whole apology tour last year. And Kelly said that she feel like she don't have to apologize no more. She just said she needs to stand 10 toes down. And why is Kelly doing all this in the confessional, showing her cross and all this and that? Kelly is she's just as cringe as her BF because she just be doing the most to get attention. This too much. Doing all that in the confession like a little kid, and the producer had to tell her. She was like, "Well, we can see your crack," and she was like, "It's all right, crack is where who ain't seen it? All right, Kelly, who ain't I done seen your crack, Kelly? Kelly, just get away from me. Like Kelly, you better be glad that I don't have to change your heart because I actually can see you coming back next season. But if Shamir don't come back next season, I want to see how you gonna come back next season, and who gonna be your bestie next season. Mm. But you gonna really have nobody there to have your back. I don't know. It's just opinions because her and Portia they made up, but apparently they done not made up. They done went back. They done went back. A, a few steps because I think the clip of Phaedra was going viral when she was when she was talking about the $70,000 team uh in reference to Kelly, and then Portia made a comment up under it, basically like saying something about like teach them or something like that, and then Faith Kelly coming back and left the shady comment to Portia, so I was like, oh, here they go again. But that's like little fun. That's like little fun shade. Like that ain't nothing that y'all gotta be fussing about. So stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Don't do it no more because y'all ain't got no reason to be fussing because it ain't that deep. It really ain't. But anyway, next time on next week episode, Kate and Shamia sit down and Kate just basically wanna. I think Kate just basically gonna pick her brain as to her like why did you feel the need to bring that to the table? Like how did you get to the mindset to bring that there? And then Kate and her husband have a double date with Portia and Mike. Okay, 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 girl. Okay, okay, whatever words. And then they have this event where the man that hold on, let me get this straight. The man that Angela accused Shamia of messing with, named George with the green beard, he's at the event. I'm like, wait a minute now. How that how that happen? Where that come from? How how George end up at the event? We were just talking about him in Scotland, and now he at the event. And what George, what you got to say? So is Angela vindicated? But let's remember, Angela did ask Shamia if she slept with me, but I think she was just basically insinuating that the way that the man was talking, like he gave Shamia the money, and like he was saying it like a way that like he could have slept with, you know, like, and the man, he's very much cringe. Him and his wife, um, they have been trying to get on reality TV for years. They are kind of clout chasers, or people that do stuff for attention. So I wouldn't be surprised if he said it like that. Like, he said it in a way where he gave her money, but he gave it to her, um, in the effort to try to get something else. And that's basically what Angela was saying. Ooh, child, they folk know they are a mess. But that's all I have for today. That's all I have for today. Um, thank you. Thanks. That's all I have for today. I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. Be sure to leave a like, comment, all the things on this video. Go back and watch it. Do all the things. You can also catch this replay on my YouTube channel as well, and subscribe over there to my YouTube channel as well, please and thank you. The link is in my face here on my Facebook page. It says YouTube channel. You can click on that link and go watch all my videos on my YouTube channel as well. And subscribe while you're there. Don't just look. Subscribe. Okay? Okay. Hope you guys have a good rest of the night and a good rest of the week. Alright? And I'll talk to you guys later. Good night and goodbye.